And as when you go through different parts of the Muslim world, the Arab world, when you talk about Osama Bin Laden, many people will point to conspiracy theories. And for the past 10 years, they will say that Bin Laden has already died or he's gotten away. And in fact, that Osama Bin Laden no longer has that much of an effect when it comes to the insurgencies in these parts of the world. And when you look at Afghanistan, in a place as primitive as Afghanistan, the majority of the Afghans don't even know what 9/11 was. And those Taliban fighters that we see fighting our soldiers on the ground have no idea who Osama Bin Laden is, or they've possibly heard of him. One thing that we have to remember is that they no longer take orders from Al-Qaeda, that they're operating under new leadership, but we also have to look at the psychological impact it's going to have on the fighters themselves. Right now, when you look at the war in Afghanistan, many people think that the psychological win has come to the Taliban in the last couple of years because of the victories that they've gained. But this is going to be a tremendous psychological effect for the American troops on the ground, the NATO troops on the ground. So it will have an impact on the war when it comes to the psychological event. When you look at the counterinsurgency strategy that was implemented in 2009, General McChrystal mentioned in his assessment that whichever side thinks that they're winning will actually be victorious in the war. So this, in a way, can affect that very important effect when it comes to the psychological impact. Brian?
Tia Bowie, thank you for that. Andrea Mitchell is in Washington. Andrea, it's interesting, and again, for those just joining us, we are soon going to be going to the East Room of the White House for live coverage of the president's address to the nation. Journalists were told tonight this unlikely event, the president had requested live airtime from the White House for an address on national security. It has subsequently come out, and people will long remember where they were when they heard the news that Osama bin Laden is dead, has been proven dead, details to come from the president. Andrea, we've heard terrorist groups back channel for the last several years diminishing the importance of Osama bin Laden as they grow as splinters in size. We've heard various U.S. politicians, members of at least two administrations, and military commanders say it isn't exactly an obsession. We'd like to get him. He's in the back of our minds. And yet, you know and I know that when these people go on background and off the record, when you get the truth out of them, this terrorist defined the last 10 years of American foreign policy and, of course, gave us this absolute catastrophe on American soil.
He defined American policy and, as Richard Engel was pointing out moments ago, the way we live. Because since 9/11, not only the way we live, the way we travel, the way our public buildings operate, the closing of avenues and the barricades around buildings, the people's house, the houses of Congress, all constrained by the war on terror and the effects and the fear of another attack after 9/11. Does not mean that this is the end of terrorism. And as we've been pointing out, he was no longer believed to be as operational as other leaders who have succeeded him and as splinter groups and as Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, in Yemen, these other groups who have been launching terrorists toward the United States who have been intercepted. I mean, there have been notable successes, some of which have not even been reported. That said, he is hugely important, as Atiya was pointing out, psychologically important in the counterinsurgency efforts, and politically important. Let's face it. The president was asked in September 10th about why he had not yet been able to capture or kill Osama bin Laden. And at that news conference, he said it is still a high priority. It is not an obsession, but it is a high priority. But went on to say that they have accomplished other things. So no political leader is going to say, yes, it's our highest priority, and it is a failure that we haven't captured him, but now they can clearly point to a very big operational success, a huge boost for American military and covert operatives, and also a psychological effect and a political effect. This is a game changer for Barack Obama and for the U.S. military.
It can also be reported that this will affect alert levels at a lot of United States facilities around the globe, and I can tell you firsthand, here in New York City, after 9/11, the NYPD started a program that's been going under several different code names, one of them Hercules, where they just, and if you visited